Councillor Whitehead.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Chair. This is personal to me. I am a parent of an autistic son, and the story I heard is touching. I recall 6-8 months when we started making observations. I remember my wife challenging the family practitioner. I recall the bureaucratic process that I had to go through, my wife had to go through. By the time that we had the diagnosis, and clearly the first sign with our son was the eye contact, and not being able to make eye contact, and certainly the stemming, and certainly other elements that were being pervasive when we were dealing with him. I recall about 3.5 years old, we finally got diagnosis. We were lucky. I was one of the lucky ones that was able to get my son into the IBI program at 4. And I can tell you that it was a remarkable difference when he came out of that program. I'll also tell you that I sat on the provincial benchmarking panel, looked at the science, and clearly the best intervention period is 3 to 5. There's no argument about that. But it was never, ever the intention. And we made it clear on that panel that you need the continuum of care and hope for the parents with autism autism children. So I know the challenges, day programs and programs during the summer. I know the challenges in the schools because I lived it. My son is now in grade 11. And I can tell you that the trauma, the anxiety, parent that you go through. It is personal. I could tell you that I attended a meeting. It was a group home for autistic adults. It was my own neighborhood. There was over 120, 160 people there. It was a great program by Horizon. And the community was protesting this community home for autistic adults. I remember the planner being Paul Mallard sitting there next to me. And I remember them all standing up and saying, great program, you provide great services. But, why here? I remember looking over to Paul Mallard and saying to him, if I hear one more but, I'm standing up. Sure enough, I did. So I stood up and expressed to this community very passionately that I'm proud of our neighborhood. I see each and every one of you every day. I walk through this community. I play in the park with my son. My son has every damn right to live and continue living in this neighborhood. And who do you have? What right do you have to say he couldn't? This is a continuum of care. The biggest worry of a parent is when we're gone, that our son, our daughter is being taken care of. Knowing that there's great programs out there and that there are actual people who will fight those programs is absolutely insulting. I was very passionate in my speech. And I think at one point I even used the word NIMBY. I can tell you, at the end of that meeting, I had every one of them coming up to me and apologizing. In fact, the tone changed, it became very positive. That autism home is in my neighborhood, is serving adult autism with no issues whatsoever. So there's a lot of ignorance when it comes to these kinds of things. And the only way that you can deal with it, you got to stand up. I am proud of each and every one of you to continue standing up on behalf of your children and everyone else that has children in the same situation, not only across the city, but across the province of Ontario. We need to make sure that our kids are taken care of from cradle to grave. We need to ensure there's a continuum of care that provides those comprehensive services that provide hope, because that's all a parent wants. Thank you for coming forth.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Whitehead.